George Chen was converted in Shanghai and was called as an evangelist pastor. While pastoring 3 rural house churches, he was arrested and imprisoned for his 3rd time in 1968 for the so-called crime of preaching the gospel. This time, he waited in the squalid Chinese prisons for 18 years. His wife died and his young son was killed. But his communist captors cruelly withheld the news from Pastor Chen.
In this small cell, every cell 5 prisoners in 1 cell. So you cannot lie down flatly. You have to incline your body and to lie down one by one. So it's a very small cell. And I was in the cell for 3.5 years. They transferred me from the prison cell Shanghai to the labor camp.
The communist government put all Christian ministers in prison in a brutal effort to choke off the rapidly growing Christian population, which they saw as a threat to their power. As the years in prison passed, Pastor Chen received an ominous assignment from his Chinese prison guards to work in the prison farm cesspool. In those days, it was tantamount to a death sentence. He took precautions by coating his socks with rosin, resistant to the infectious water, and he prayed often for God's protection of his life. At times in that prison cesspool, he felt forgotten, forsaken, utterly alone. But within days, he discovered an amazing secret of survival.
If I was not a Christian, probably I would die already in Shanghai because the smell, maddening, the stench, so terrible. But I enjoyed to be alone, to pray to our Lord, to recite the scriptures, to sing hymns loudly when I work in the cesspool. And in those years, one of my most favorite hymns I used to sing when I worked in the cesspool. It was in the garden. I come to the garden alone. Ever known such joy? I heard our Lord told me, I am his own. What else I expected? I was in the labor camp. I was in the cesspool. But at that very moment, the cesspool became my private garden.